Every single one of us has faced moments where life tried to break us. Maybe it was failure, rejection, loss, or the crushing weight of responsibility. And in those moments, some people bend, some people break, but a few, very few, they become stronger. The question is why? Why is it that when two people face the same struggle, one is destroyed while the other comes out harder, tougher, unshakable? The answer isn't luck, it isn't talent, and it isn't even about being fearless. It's about building a mindset that chooses growth over defeat. Today, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to challenge how you think. Because this speech isn't just about becoming hard in the face of life. It's about becoming unbreakable. And if you're willing to see pain, struggle, and pressure in a new light, this could be the moment that changes how you face everything that comes your way. We live in a world that constantly sells us the idea of comfort. Everything around us is designed to make life easier, faster, more convenient. We're told to avoid pain, to avoid struggle, to avoid hardship. We hear messages like, don't stress yourself, don't work too hard, or don't push too much. And while comfort feels good in the moment, comfort is also the very thing that keeps us weak. It's in the absence of struggle that our strength begins to fade. Think about it this way: when you go to the gym, your muscles don't grow because you lift something light and easy. They grow because you tear the muscle fibers under resistance. The very act of lifting something heavy, something uncomfortable, forces your body to adapt and come back stronger. That's the principle of growth. It's not found in ease, it's found in challenge. The same applies to every area of our lives. Our minds, our character, our resilience. They don't expand when life is comfortable. They grow when life tests us, stretches us, and pushes us to places we didn't think we could reach. Struggle is not the enemy. Struggle is the gift, but most people see it the wrong way. They think struggle is punishment or a sign that something has gone wrong. But the truth is, every struggle is a signal that you are on the edge of becoming stronger than you were before. Those moments when you feel like giving up, when the pressure feels too heavy, when you think you can't go on, that's not where strength ends, that's where strength begins. Look at history. Every great leader, every innovator, every pioneer faced moments of immense struggle. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison and yet emerged not bitter, but stronger, more determined, more unshakable. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but each failure was a lesson that built resilience, not weakness. Strength is never a product of ease. It is always the outcome of trial, failure, pain, and perseverance. And this isn't just about big names or famous stories. It's about us. It's about the everyday struggles we face, losing a job, going through heartbreak, dealing with failure, or carrying responsibilities that feel heavier than we can handle. These are the struggles that shape us. These are the moments that either make us or break us. The difference is not the weight of the challenge, but the way we choose to carry it. Comfort zones are dangerous because they trick us into thinking we're okay. They whisper to us, stay here, it's safe, it's easy. But comfort never created a resilient person. Comfort never built a leader. Comfort never inspired change. It is only when we step into discomfort, when we say yes to struggle, that we unlock the version of ourselves that is truly strong. The truth is, most of us want strength without struggle. We want growth without pain. But that's not how it works. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And human beings are shaped by the struggles they overcome. The very things we want to avoid, failure, rejection, setbacks, are the exact things that make us unbreakable. So when you face struggle, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what is this making me into? Because every struggle is shaping you into someone stronger, harder, tougher than before. The struggle you're facing today may feel like it's breaking you, but in reality, it's building you. Strength is not built in comfort. It is forged in struggle. Every single one of us will face hardship. It comes in different forms for different people. For some, it's the loss of a loved one. For others, it's financial struggle, failure in business, betrayal by someone they trusted, or a dream that didn't come true. Hardship doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your background, your education, or your position in life. It will knock on everyone's door at some point. But here's the truth. Hardship is not what defines you. It's not the obstacle itself that writes your story. What truly defines you is the way you choose to respond. There are people who experience hardship and become bitter, angry, and closed off from the world. They carry resentment like a heavy weight, and they allow their struggle to trap them in a story of defeat. Then there are others who face the same kind of hardship, but use it as fuel, as a reason to rise, as a reason to grow stronger. The difference is not the hardship itself. The difference is response. When life throws us a curveball, we don't get to choose the circumstances, but we always get to choose our perspective. That choice is where real power lies. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, wrote in his book Man's Search for Meaning that everything can be taken from a person except one thing: the freedom to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. He endured unimaginable suffering, but his response gave his suffering meaning, and that meaning gave him strength. His story reminds us that even in the darkest places, response is what defines the outcome. Think about the times in your own life when you faced hardship. Maybe it was failing an exam, losing an opportunity, or being told no when you desperately wanted a yes. At first, it might have felt like the end. But if you look back, those moments probably taught you something valuable. They probably shaped you in ways that comfort never could. That's because your response, whether you chose to learn, to stand back up, to keep moving forward, is what transformed hardship into growth. The problem is, too many of us let hardship become our identity. We say things like, "I'm a failure," "I'm unlucky," or "I'll never get it right." But hardship is not who you are. It is something you experienced. There's a big difference. You are not your pain. You are not your setback. You are not your loss. You are the person who decides what to do with it. Will you let it define you, or will you let it refine you? History shows us countless examples. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty, facing abuse and rejection, but her response was to turn her pain into a platform for empathy, resilience, and inspiration. Malala Yousafzai was shot for speaking up for education, but her response was to become the voice of millions who had no voice. Their hardships were brutal, but their responses defined their legacies. We often can't control what happens to us, but we can always control how we show up in response. That's where our character is revealed. That's where strength is proven. That's where we either choose to remain a victim or rise as a victor. The truth is, hardship is inevitable, but hopelessness is optional. Your story is not the hardship itself. Your story is the way you choose to face it, the lessons you take from it, and the strength you gain because of it. Hardship doesn't define you, your response to it does. There's a common belief that some people are just naturally resilient, as if they were born with a special ability to endure hardship. We look at people who overcome incredible challenges, who rise after failure, who keep going when everything seems against them, and we think they're just different. They were given something I don't have. But resilience is not a gift. It's not something you inherit. Resilience is a choice. It's a decision you make every single day, often in the smallest of moments, to keep moving forward instead of giving up. Resilience is built through action, not chance. Imagine a child learning to walk. Every time they fall, they make a choice to cry and stay on the ground, or to get back up and try again. No one gave them resilience as a gift. They chose it again and again until walking became second nature. That's the essence of resilience. It is built in the repeated decision to rise after falling. The world around us often glorifies success, but hides the struggles that built it. When we see an athlete on the podium, we don't see the thousands of hours of training, the injuries, the failures, the mornings they didn't feel like getting out of bed but did anyway. When we admire a leader who inspires millions, we don't always see the mistakes, the sleepless nights, or the moments of doubt that could have stopped them. The truth is, resilience is never given. It is earned by making the choice to keep going when everything inside you wants to quit. And the choice is not always dramatic. Sometimes resilience is choosing to get out of bed on a tough day. Sometimes it's making the decision to try one more time after failing 10 times. Sometimes it's choosing to see rejection not as the end of the road, but as redirection towards something better. Each small choice adds up, shaping a person into someone who doesn't just survive difficulty, but thrives because of it. Think about the times in your own life when you faced obstacles. Maybe you didn't feel strong. Maybe you doubted yourself. But the very fact that you are here now means you chose resilience in some form. You decided to endure. You decided to carry on. You made a choice that, even in the face of pain or failure, you would not be defined by it. That's resilience in action. One of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves is, "I'm just not strong enough." The reality is, resilience is not about strength you already have. It's about strength you create by choosing not to give up. It's not about waiting for inspiration to arrive. It's about deciding to act even when you don't feel ready. When we look at people who inspire us, whether it's someone who fought through illness, someone who rebuilt their life after losing everything, or someone who turned tragedy into purpose, we're not seeing people who were given resilience. We're seeing people who chose it, sometimes in the most ordinary and painful of moments. They made the decision, "I will not stop here." That decision, repeated over and over, is what made them resilient. Every single one of us has that same choice. Resilience doesn't live in some special group of people. It lives in every choice we make when faced with difficulty. And it is in those choices that we discover the truth. Resilience is not a gift, it's a decision, and it's a decision available to all of us. When people are put under pressure, we often say that it changes them. We look at someone who faced a crisis and think, the pressure turned them into a leader, or the stress made them stronger. But the truth is, pressure doesn't create character. Pressure only reveals the character that was already there. What comes out of us under pressure is simply the truth of who we are when everything else is stripped away. Think about a tube of toothpaste. When you squeeze it, only one thing can come out, the thing that was already inside. Pressure doesn't change what's inside the tube. It only forces it out. Human beings are the same way. When life applies pressure, through struggle, responsibility, or hardship, it doesn't magically create patience, resilience, or integrity. It reveals whether those qualities were inside us all along. This is why small choices matter long before the big moments arrive. Every decision we make when no one is watching is preparing us for the day when everyone is. If we've practiced honesty in the small things, then when pressure comes, honesty will show. If we've cultivated discipline in quiet moments, then when pressure comes, discipline will rise. But if we've been careless, if we've compromised, if we've built habits of quitting, then pressure won't create strength. It will expose weakness. History gives us countless examples of this truth. When Abraham Lincoln was under the crushing weight of a divided nation, his patience and integrity didn't suddenly appear. They had been cultivated in him long before he entered the White House through years of personal struggle and loss. When Martin Luther King Jr. stood before crowds and faced threats to his life, the courage that came out of him was not created by the moment. It was revealed by the moment. Pressure simply uncovered what was already within. The same is true in everyday life. Think about someone who loses their temper under stress. The stress didn't create anger, it revealed it. Or consider someone who becomes calm and resourceful in a crisis. The crisis didn't create that composure. It exposed it. In this way, pressure acts as a mirror. It shows us the truth about ourselves, even truths we might not like. This is both challenging and empowering. Challenging because it means we can't wait until life gets hard to suddenly hope for strength. Empowering because it means we have the chance every day to build the character we want pressure to reveal. Every time we keep a promise, even a small one, we are building integrity. Every time we push ourselves when no one is pushing us, we are building discipline. Every time we choose patience when it would be easier to snap, we are building resilience. These quiet, unseen decisions form the foundation of who we are. And when the pressure finally comes, and it always will, it simply brings to the surface what we have been practicing all along. So instead of fearing pressure, we should be grateful for it. Because pressure gives us the gift of truth. It strips away the mask of comfort and shows us who we really are. And if we don't like what we see, that's not the end of the story. It's the beginning of change. Pressure doesn't create character, it reveals it. Which means the work of building character happens long before the moment of crisis arrives. The question is, what will pressure reveal about you? Everyone wants to be strong. Everyone wants to be resilient. We admire people who seem unshakable, people who can take the hits of life and keep moving forward. But here's the part most of us try to avoid. You can't become unbreakable without first being tested. Strength doesn't appear in the absence of challenges. It is born through them. The test is not optional. The test is the very process that makes us who we are. If you look at nature, this truth is everywhere. A tree that grows in perfect conditions, shielded from wind, develops shallow roots. It looks fine on the surface, but when a storm comes, it topples easily. Meanwhile, a tree that has grown in constant wind and pressure develops roots that run deep, roots that anchor it so strongly that no storm can break it. The difference isn't in the tree itself. It's in what it was forced to endure. We are the same way. The tests we face, the failures, the disappointments, the struggles are not there to destroy us. They are there to deepen our roots. They are there to prepare us for storms we don't even know are coming. But here's the catch. In order for those tests to work, we have to accept them. We have to stop running from them, stop avoiding them, and stop resenting them. Because the very thing we're trying to escape is the thing that will make us unbreakable. Look at the stories of the people we admire most. Athletes who became champions didn't get there by winning every time. They got there by losing, by failing, by facing injury and defeat, and choosing to come back stronger. Leaders who inspire nations didn't build resilience by avoiding pain. They went through rejection, betrayal, and hardship, and in choosing to endure, they became unshakable. The test was the training ground. The suffering was the teacher. The problem is, most of us want the reward without the test. We want resilience without hardship. We want strength without struggle. We want courage without fear. But life doesn't work that way. You can't become unbreakable without first being broken down. You can't know your strength until it's tested. You can't discover your courage until fear shows up. Tests are the doorway to every quality we admire, and those who accept the test are the ones who walk through. And the test is rarely comfortable. Sometimes it looks like failure after you gave your best effort. Sometimes it looks like rejection from the people you counted on most. Sometimes it looks like life taking something from you that you thought you couldn't live without. But in those moments, you're being given a choice to let the test define you or to let it refine you. To see yourself as a victim or to see yourself as a work in progress, being shaped into something stronger than before. The truth is, tests are not punishments. They are opportunities. They are the places where our weakness is exposed so our strength can be built. They are the fire that burns away what is unnecessary, leaving behind what is pure and powerful. They are not there to stop us. They are there to prepare us. To become unbreakable, you must first accept being tested, because only by walking through the test can you discover the strength that was waiting inside you all along. We all admire greatness. We admire the athletes who stand on podiums, the entrepreneurs who build empires, the leaders who inspire movements, the artists who change culture. But when we strip away the spotlight and the applause, greatness is not about talent alone. It's not about luck or even opportunity. Greatness belongs to those who refuse to quit even when it hurts. It belongs to the ones who keep showing up long after the excitement fades, long after the pain sets in, long after most people would have walked away. Pain is the gatekeeper of greatness. It's the barrier that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Everyone has a dream, but only a few are willing to endure the cost that comes with chasing it. Because the truth is, it will hurt. It will test you. It will make you doubt yourself. You will fail. You will be rejected. You will have nights when you wonder if it's worth it. And in those moments, when quitting feels like the easiest option, greatness is asking you a question. Will you keep going? The ones we celebrate are not the ones who never faced hardship. They are the ones who faced it and kept moving forward. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. He could have quit, but he refused. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job because his editor said he lacked imagination. He could have quit, but he refused. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter was accepted. She could have quit, but she refused. The common thread is not that they didn't feel pain. The common thread is that when it hurt, they didn't stop. Greatness is not about how easy the path is. It's about how committed you are to staying on it when it gets hard. And it will get hard. The late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices that nobody sees, these are the moments that forge greatness. Not the victory itself, but the refusal to surrender on the way to it. We often think that successful people are fearless. But they're not. They feel fear, doubt, exhaustion, just like everyone else. The difference is they don't let those feelings decide for them. They've learned that quitting is permanent, but pain is temporary. The discomfort you feel today is the investment that creates strength tomorrow. Every step you take in pain is one step closer to the version of yourself that is capable of greatness. The real question is not whether you will hurt, but whether you will endure. Will you give in when it hurts, or will you press on? Because the truth is, pain doesn't mean you're failing. Pain means you're in the process of becoming. Pain means you're moving into territory where most people give up. And if you can keep going there, you'll find yourself in a place very few ever reach. Greatness is not reserved for the chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to embrace the pain that others run from. It belongs to those who keep showing up, who keep fighting, who keep believing, even when it feels like everything is against them. Greatness belongs to those who refuse to quit, even when it hurts.